tale of gunfire in Midland. You're looking at video sent to us from a viewer. This was the active shooting scene earlier today. This happened at the old Tall City Veterinarian's office, which is now closed off West Wall Street. You can see people taking cover. The shooting left one person dead and several others hurt. Well, tonight we know the name of the person killed. The city of Midland confirming the loss of one of their own, employee Ed Scott. In a statement, the city says this is one of the hardest days its organization and community has ever faced, adding, "We lost one of our own." The city says he was a dedicated member of the community who worked closely with local and regional softball organizations and was known as a loving husband and father. Officials are asking everyone to respect the family's privacy as they grieve this unimaginable loss, and they are urging the community to keep them in their prayers. The city says Midland stands with all those impacted by today's senseless violence. Meanwhile, softball organizations are mourning the loss of Ed Scott. In a social media post, the Texas Outlaws 16U team announced that Ed Scott, the husband of Coach Laura Scott, was killed in the tragedy. The team asked the community to keep Coach Scott, her children, and their entire family in their thoughts and prayers during what they called an incredibly difficult time. Team officials also requested privacy for the family as they grieve, while encouraging supporters to surround them with love, prayers, and support in the days ahead. Well, tonight we also know the name of the suspect, and he was a wanted man, 45-year-old Victor Mata Villarreal of Odessa. Now, if you remember earlier this week, officers were on a manhunt after he fired a rifle at police during a traffic stop Wednesday night. What we don't know right now was his motive. Now let's take a look at the timeline of today's deadly shooting and how it unfolded. Just before 8 o'clock in the morning, law enforcement responded to reports of a shooting on West Wall Street. When they got there, investigators say Villarreal opened fire on police and bystanders. Authorities say Villarreal then barricaded himself inside the old vet clinic building. Officers from several local, state, and federal agencies quickly established a perimeter around the building as the hours-long standoff began. Then at around 12:30, authorities found Villarreal dead inside the building. DPS says one person was killed and 10 others injured. No officers were hurt during the shooting. Right now, the investigation has been handed over to the Texas Rangers. Let's check in now with Stephen Pepper, who has been out at the scene all day long, speaking with witnesses and officials in that area. Stephen, what can you tell us?
Crystal, we've now been allowed to move closer to the very scene here at the 4600 block of West Wall Street. So close, in fact, that you can visibly make out the green sign of that abandoned Tall City Veterinary Hospital, where DPS is saying the shooter barricaded himself inside before his death. Also just confirmed by the city moments ago, another death, a city employee, Ed Scott. It's a situation that Midland Police Chief Greg Snow is calling a nightmare.
Several officers exchanged gunfire during this incident, and that is going to be investigated by the Texas Rangers and our partners with the DPS. This is going to take a little while, and I appreciate everybody's patience with us as we work together to come to a determination about everything that has happened. Yeah.
Crystal, those are the sounds that have devastated a West Texas community. That early morning standoff between police and now confirmed deceased shooter, 45-year-old Victor Mata Villarreal of Odessa. Chief Snow in that press conference this afternoon could not confirm to us how Mata Villarreal killed himself. Did he kill himself, or did law enforcement take him out? But what we do know is, let's go all the way back to Wednesday night, where officers were looking for Villarreal during a traffic stop. They say they were looking for him for an attempted capital murder on a peace officer for firing multiple rounds at an officer Wednesday night. Of course, we all know by now at 8 a.m. this morning at the 4600 block of West Wall Street, shooting resumed. Not only shooting at law enforcement, but citizens, civilians in their cars on Wall Street. This is where I've been all morning, talking to employees at the off-road neighboring collision centers. They told me when they're at work around 8 this morning, they heard loud noises. They thought it was a crash because when they went outside to check out the scene, they saw a jackknife semi-truck out in the middle of West Wall Street. But it was really quick for them to find out that this was an active shooter situation as gunshot ensued. They went to go inside and duck cover, but one witness tells me before he went inside All American Collisions to take cover, he saw a body laying in that service road. And when you heard the shots, what was your reaction in the moment?
Realistically, we weren't sure they were shots. We all kind of questioned what it was because we thought there was a wreck, so we thought equipment was falling off a truck. And then we recognized it was shots, and that's when everybody got inside.
Did you see the shooter?
Never.
Did you see any of that?
Nope. Saw one person. There was a person down, but we never saw the shooter. Yeah. We saw one person. We assumed
like lying on the road.
Yep.
Service road or the
service road.
Service road. Did you see any blood? You saw one person down?
Yeah, one person down.
That under your hat.
Crystal, West Wall Street is a popular commute that Midlanders use every day. Well, DPS tells us for at least the next 48 hours that from West Wall Street all the way down to Loop 250, it will be shut off as this investigation continues.
All right, thanks, Stephen. Well, the Texas Department of Public Safety and the Texas Rangers are urging everyone to come forward with any video or photos from today's shooting in Midland. Investigators say even a short cell phone clip, dash camera recording, or security camera video could provide critical evidence as they work to piece together exactly what happened. If you were anywhere near West Wall Street, Highway 80, Industrial Avenue, or the surrounding area, officials are asking you to check your devices and submit any images or video you may have captured. Now, authorities say the information could play a key role in the ongoing investigation, which remains under the leadership again of Texas Rangers. They sent us a really long link to uplink your videos and pictures. So go to this story you're listening to right now on newswest9.com. We'll have a link for you to upload those videos. Well, Midland Memorial Hospital is sharing new information about the victims in today's shooting. Hospital officials say 10 patients were taken there. As of tonight, 5 of those patients have been treated and released. 4 others were taken into surgery. 3 are recovering, and 1 remains in surgery. So we'll keep you up to date on that. The Midland County Community Organization's Active and Disaster Program has also been activated. There's a reunification center. That center has been established at the Midland Memorial Hospital to help people find and get information about members or loved ones who may have been impacted. Officials say the center is being operated through a coordinated effort between Midland County and community partners. Midland mental health services are also available if needed at the center. Well, take a look at this massive response from law enforcement. This drone video was sent in by a News West 9 viewer within minutes of the call for help from Midland Police. Other local, state, and even federal agencies stepped in to help. This is where the suspect was caught again at the old Tall City Veterinary Clinic, which is now shut down. Well, News West 9 Sydney Jollyvet loops us in from the breakdown on the crisis and the investigation unfolding right now. Sydney.
Thanks, Crystal. While the suspect is dead, the Permian Basin is just beginning to grapple with the aftermath. Here's what Midland city officials had to say as today's events took place. A morning of chaos in Midland traced a path from the southeast to the southwest side of town. Calls first rushed into dispatch at 8:03 a.m., prompting a massive multi-agency response as an active shooter sparked fear across neighborhoods. The Texas Department of Public Safety says the suspect, identified as 45-year-old Victor Mata Villarreal of Odessa, barricaded himself inside an abandoned veterinary clinic in the 4600 block of West Wall. Villarreal opened fire on both officers and bystanders before law enforcement established a perimeter. As heavy gunfire echoed through the area, neighborhoods received alerts on their phones. Responding to early confusion, city officials explained how high-stakes geographic warning texts were utilized.
We have a geographic perimeter system that we are able to specifically identify cell phones that are in the geographic perimeter that we're trying to close down. So those people within that geographic perimeter received that text message to stay in place and not to get out and drive around. The rest of the community should have received just a notification of the incident and keeping them updated.
Villarreal was already wanted by authorities, facing an attempted capital murder charge after firing at a Midland police officer during a pursuit just 2 days ago. He was tracked down with an unmanned drone and a robot and pronounced deceased just after noon.
We can confirm that the active shooter situation is resolved and that the shooter is now deceased.
The threat is over, but the casualty count leaves a heavy mark on the community. Officials confirm 11 total victims involved.
Please pray for Midland. Most importantly, please pray for those impacted.
While hospitals in Midland and Odessa work to treat the survivors, leaders are turning to the spiritual and emotional strength of the Permian Basin.
There's a lot more work to be done, and there's a lot more strain and stress and sorrow for our community on the other side of this.
The Texas Rangers have officially taken over this active investigation. West Wall and Business 20 from Fasken Road to Loop 250 are expected to remain shut down for the next 24 to 48 hours.
Now, this is still a very fluid story, so now would be a good time to opt in for alerts on your cell phone. If you rely on Facebook, they are having a national outage and difficulty. So your best bet for the latest information is downloading our mobile app and signing up for digital alerts with the city. Back to you, Crystal.
Cindy, thanks. Well, Midland's mass shooting today is bringing back painful memories of the August 31st mass shooting. If you received an active shooter alert on your phone, those alerts are now available thanks to the Layla Hernandez Act. It was in honor of 16-year-old Layla Hernandez, the youngest victim killed in the 2019 shooting. She was shot and killed at a car dealership with her family was there. The law, sponsored by State Representative Brooks Landgraf, created the Texas Active Shooter Alert System. The alerts work similarly to Amber Alerts, notifying people when an active shooter threat exists in the area. Representative Landgraf said the law was inspired by testimony from Layla's family, who believed an alert system could have saved lives. Well, state leaders reacting today to the mass shooting. Governor Abbott posting that he and First Lady Cecilia Abbott are deeply saddened by what he called a senseless act of violence. The governor said that they are praying for the victims, their families, and the entire Midland community. Abbott also said he has been briefed on the situation and commended the swift response of the Midland Police Department, DPS, and other assisting law enforcement agencies. Well, efforts are underway to help those that were affected by the shooting. When we return, we'll take a look at how you can take part.